Hello, it's Victor Dedaj. Hope you're all having an amazing day today. I'm here joined by my friend Daniela Schweiger. How you doing today, Daniela?
Oh, I am awesome. Thank you for letting me be here because this is very important that we share everything we have the best, right?
Absolutely. So let's tell everyone where we are at right now. I am in New York City today. And how about you, my friend? Where are you at?
I am in Spain. I am from Austria. I am Austrian living in Spain because of the weather. And guess what? Today, since a few days, we have a lot of snow here. In Mallorca, it is like not normal to have snow,
hmm
This is like crazy. This is not normal.
No, it's not. So how long have you been living in Spain now?
Oh, I moved thanks to, my son was a tennis player and he was playing tennis here in Mallorca and was using the Rafa Nadal and all that stuff. And then 2013, I decided to move because, normally I wanted to move to Santa Monica because, the best place of the world, right?
hmm
and so it was like interesting to see the weather was nice, the beaches are great, awesome, the country is awesome. This country have a lot of potential, just need to, how to say, you need to understand the mentality, my biggest culture shock, Spain. It was really my biggest culture shock because, I come from a country and I have a background, like my mom is from Russia, and we was very disciplined, punctual, everything, ta, 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 ta. Then you come to Spain and they
hmm
say, mañana, tranquilo. This is not so, just take it easy, and this is for me like, no way, what easy? You need to go to do things. How do you want to achieve things if you just say mañana, tranquilo, Just,
hmm
okay, it's an awesome country with a bigger possibilities. I have to say that.
hmm Well, I guess what you had to do was you needed to get out of your comfort zone.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. This is mean like I live it already in 5 countries, and Spain is number 5 for me.
hmm
And this is like, yeah, I never thought to move to Spain. If you allow me, I would like to share a little bit my background. So it will
Sure.
be okay. I am, my background is I'm lawyer and a psychologist. So I get in coma in 2005, and that was the point. When I wake up from coma, I decided to do something for my life because I come from 10 years domestic violence, not only
hmm
physical, also emotional, psychical. And being a mom, so I decided to make a change, and a lot of people say, oh, we want to change the world, we want to do whatever, and they forgot something very important. To be able to change the world, you need to change yourself,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
so first, so that was me, a young woman, a young mother with a kid, divorced, with a
Mhm.
lot of debts, with a lot of shitty things, When I got divorced, I got a gun in my head. It was horrible. I laugh
Wow.
now, and that time was not very like so. And it's just like that young woman was looking for a solution, and with that tale saying is just like I was looking to find a solution, and my goal was always find something that keep you moving and keep you
hmm
working and keep you doing, and this is like I decided to get to be business owner, and then I opened it to coaching. So I was for 10 years in domestic violence. I was broke. And when I say broke, it's not about money, it's
hmm
about being emotional. And
hmm
that emotional broke when you give up, when you say, I want to die. And I was one of them, in that time. So that will be like the people look for something, just they are not able to first thing to accept they need help, and to accept they need to change, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So this is a little bit my story, you know, a broke mom with a kid, with that, and start to change the world because she start to change herself. And after wake up from coma, you know, that coma stuff, that story was interesting for me because when I wake up from coma, my doctor said, it was my friend, a good friend of mine, he say, what is the most important thing for you? And
Mm-hmm.
you know, I don't know who here listening and have kids. A lot of people say my kid, and I have to say something that was the wrong answer. And my doctor say, you know, you have 2 degrees, you speak 10 languages, you're so good with everything, and you're still stupid, you know. And I was like, holy moly, what the heck is he talking about, no? And then he make the next question and he say, Daniela, if you die, who will take care about your kid? So,
Mm-hmm.
and that was a wake up call for me, you know. And I say, no, I have to change. Done. So, you know, the people they were watching, listening, I understand everyone have own story, everyone is own personality. Just guys, it's important to take responsibility and it's important to work out your damn past and that Pandora cage, you know. It's just like everyone is like, oh, I am successful, and then go up, go down, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just like, oh my gosh, this is like thing, and then what, and what I'm doing. Just forgot something. The life happened not to us. The life happened because of us, you know?
Mm-hmm. No, that's a very important point. It's a lot of people. Number one, don't look at their part in the role, their role in what happens to them. They always look at all the external forces, all the external circumstances, but they never look at how did I bring this about? How can I change this? It's always other people, other forces, and they never focus on what can I do to make this better, improve my life. So you went through a situation, you were in a coma, you went through years of domestic violence, you were raising your son by yourself, and I'm sure there are a lot of women out there who could definitely identify that. There are a lot of women raising their kids by themselves, and it's a struggle when you're doing it by yourself, and it seems like there's no way out. But you could share from your experience. Obviously, you've been able to change yourself, change your life, and you've been able to accomplish a lot because you changed the way you looked at yourself and the way you looked at life, and you realize that you can do something about it, right?
Exactly, you know, that is the first step because you know we are humans and no one is perfect. I don't believe in perfection, and you will laugh, Victor, you will laugh. And it's like a few years ago when I was working like a lawyer and a psychologist, I was the perfection in the person, you know. For me it was perfection, have to be everything perfect. And then I find out the perfection doesn't exist, you know. You need to be only the best version of yourself. And when I say the best version of yourself, you need to be 1% better than yesterday. And to be better than yesterday, you need to confront your past. You need to work with that. You need to do something about that, you know. It's just like we take a relationship, no, a lot of people, they get divorced, they get, you know, whatever is there. And then after that they get a new relationship, say, oh my gosh, I get that same damn guy or the same stupid woman. I am such unlucky person, the destiny or whatever. You know what, we are doing our destiny. To have a good relationship in the future, to be able to do something better, you need first to clear up, to clean up your past. And that it's about, you know, Pandora cage. The past is our subconscious, and that is running us, you know.
Mhm. No, absolutely. People don't realize how much they let the past rule their present. It's they need to make peace with the past. Here's the thing: you may have done stupid things, you may have made mistakes, but learn from the past. Don't spend 24 hours a day dwelling on it. Learn from it. Focus on the present, and then think about your future. But you got to be focused on your present. don't dwell on the past all day long. Just learn from it. But so many people have. But also, like you said, so much of what we do is subconscious. We don't realize program we've had from when we were young, especially when we were kids. It was ingrained in us because number one, we were kids, we were helpless. So any big authority figures, our parents or teachers, they're almost like godlike figures to us. And whatever they told us to do, even though much of it was often very negative, we just listened to them because we were so dependent on them. And a lot of that thing's been ingrained in us, which, by the way, dominates most of your thinking. People think it's your conscious mind. It is not. Your subconscious mind dominates well over 90% of the things you do. And if you don't come to grips with the stuff that's been programming you, you're never going to change your life. But the thing is, you can. Like I said, you're a perfect example. There have been many other people who have learned, because all you need to do, like with a computer, if you change its programming, you would change how it functions. So if you change your programming in your mind, you can change your life, right?
Yes, and it is very important that you understand something. You say something here, changing and parenting. I am a perfect example. Being in domestic violence, get really a bad thing that you can, like a mother or like a father, you can raise your kid with love,
Mm-hmm.
with respect, and you can change that because everything is about the chip. I am a believer that we have a lot of love to give if we increase self love. So you cannot say to someone, I love you, and you don't have love for yourself. And then it's something else, the change, the parenting. I am also convinced that first 7 years of the childhood influence our life because when we have our kids, we are born, we are like empty, like a phone. You get a new phone and you start download this, make picture, make video, and at once, boom, reseated because it's already too much. And the human beings were in the same way. And I always say the kids have a future if you like parent. You need to be that parent that you want your kid to be like an adult. So if you are drinking or using drugs and whatever, do criminal things, you cannot expect that your kid will be deaf different. Or you cannot say to your daughter, hey, why you come drunk at home and you are with your two beers, 3 glasses of wine, and you say, hey, why you come drunk at home? That you it's not the way. And I think I remember myself never listen to why my parents say. I never do. I have never done what they say. I just watch it what they do. And then I change because you get adult, you get 18, then 21. And then it's time that you take responsibility. Because until you are underage, the parents are responsible. After underage, go move your ass from that pity party and do better things because it's up to you if your life is better or not.
Oh, absolutely. That's some great points. Yeah, and I agree. But most of what we've learned is really from our childhood. It impacts everything we do in our adult life. Those formative years that what you said 1 to 7, it just
Yeah.
really impacts it. But no matter what happens to you, you can still overcome it, like you said. But it starts with you. Are you willing to take responsibility? One of my mentors, Jack Canfield, he has a book called The Success Principles. There's 67 success principles. His very first success principle is take 100% responsibility for your life. And he says the reason he made it number one was all the other principles flow from it. If you don't take 100% responsibility, other things are not going to fall into place. And until you're willing to, like you said, get off your butt, do the things you want to do, change your life, and say, how can I make this better? Until you do that, it's not going to get better. So I think those are some great points you shared with us. Um, yeah, so it's so for those who are struggling, those who may not have a poor mindset, those who might have been struggling for 10, 15 years, whether they're people who went through domestic violence like you did, or people who are living in poverty, or, people who are struggling, who don't have an education, maybe they never finished high school, uh, but they want to do something more with their lives. What do you recommend for them? What advice would you give them?
Victor, I use I use a lot. I grew up with my grandma,
Hmm.
and my grandma was my first mentor. And
Hmm.
my grandma says something like this: if someone is born poor, it's not his fault.
Hmm.
But if this person will die poor, it's 100% his or her fault, because you have 60, 70 years time to find a solution. And I
Hmm.
will add why I'm telling you that. And
Hmm.
I see a lot of people, they are with, I don't talk about religion, just I will use something from the Bible,
Hmm.
because I know a lot of people are reading that and following theoretical, not for real. There is like, the rich person will get more and more. The poor person will lose also what we have, with that person have. And then the question is, why is that happening?
Hmm.
Because you cannot ask for a change, you cannot ask for help if you don't move from your comfort zone. And guys, I don't know who is watching. I really, I am really here, like for real, honest. My grandma said, the God help you if you help yourself first. So I know everyone is struggling. Just let me ask you something. My story, I was in the childhood not really good. I had also domestic violence in my childhood because my mom was very strict. I got 10 years in domestic violence with my ex-husband. Get the gun on my head. So beat me with my story. I was broken the financial part, in the emotional part. I tried to kill myself 3 times. So if I could move on, you can also. Don't make that pity party, and don't have pity with myself, because I don't have pity with myself. It's very important. So people say, I want to change. How do you want to change? Are you clear with what you want to change? Put it down. You say, okay, I had, oh, poor me. My parents don't give me money. My parents, whatever. My parents, da, da, da. My ex-partner, my whatever. So stop to blame and start to change. You want to be to the, you want to have the change, you have to be the change. And it's not easy, because if it will be easy, oh my gosh, 100% everyone will do it.
Yeah, no, that's very true. And as we going back before, those who don't take 100% responsibility for their lives, for their problems, for everything, they become outward focused. They don't become solution oriented. Whereas what you're telling people to do is get off your butt, do things, take action, try to make your life better. You become solution oriented. You become inward focused. You try to see, how can I change my life? How can I make it better? Because you realize you can make the change, but when you're playing the blame game and not taking any responsibility, you're waiting for other people to take care of your life, and most of the time nothing really happens, nothing changes. But I think it's because, and you know this from your background, is a lot of people also just love playing victim. It's easier. They get sympathy. They get this
Oh,
attention. They complain about my
oh
life
my gosh.
stinks.
Oh my
But
gosh.
but they do that because it gives them attention, and they make an excuse for why they failed. And anyone, we can make excuse for why our life stinks and
Victor,
why you can't get back. But people love to do it. So talk a little
Victor,
bit about that.
playing a victim, it's the easiest way.
Hmm.
I was one of them.
Hmm.
Just playing a victim, don't pay the bills, you know? And playing the victim, don't make a better future for your kid if you have one. It's necessary a lot, my grandma also say something. Uh, because when I got divorced, we had issues. And then my grandma say, you need to raise your kid so good that he will be a great human being. And you have to be the queen, because a great mother will raise the kid without hate, without anger, and without playing the victim. You know, I never was complaining in front of my kid, or something like this. I always make it happen. It was not easy, because it's not easy. And everyone will say, yeah, for her it's easy. No, it was not easy. Just I want to ask you something. Playing with victim, don't pay the bills. And if you have kids, oh my gosh, you're not allowed to play victim, because you will make a new society and the same shit blaming society. It's time to change. It's time to make a change. And I'm not talking about being aggressive or making fights or go and kill someone. No, I'm talking about you want a better world. Stop to blame yourself, stop to be a victim, and start to do for what and why are you on this earth. First thing, start to love yourself. Second thing, believe in yourself. Third thing, take responsibility because you need to do that.
No, absolutely. Yeah. And yeah, hey, take responsibility, believe in yourself, because that's another thing. Mindset's huge. A lot of people don't believe in this. A lot of people have great abilities. And it's not just enough to know what to do, although that's very important. If you don't believe you're capable of doing, if you don't have the confidence, you won't take those actions. And like you said, be careful how you act around your kids because they're always paying attention to what you do. So if you're always whining, being negative, saying my life sucks and this is an unfair world, guess what? Most likely your kid's going to grow up the same way. So if you want your kids to grow up better, you need to show them a better example, which is what you did. You didn't you avoided to take complain about things around your son. You wanted to encourage him to take responsibility and build a better life for himself because if you play victim all the time, he would probably do that when he grew up. So as a result, he grew up to be a much better person because you changed the way you acted in front of him.
Oh, yes. And this is very important because, and it was not easy. And I want to say something else. You have a bad experience in your past. Everything happened for a reason. Learn to forgive because if you forgive, it's not about forgiving someone, it's about forgiving yourself for making mistakes. And Thomas Edison was experimenting to get that light, and 10,000 times he
Mhm.
failed.
Yeah.
And someone asked him, Mr. Edison, what's a shame? How the heck you failed so many times? And his answer was like this, something like this. Oh, no, 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 no. I never failed. I was making so many experiments to give you the best result. So learn from the fail. I love to fail. I make a lot of mistakes. I make the mistakes to make me better because there is no a failure without a new opportunity and no problems with some solution. The dear God and Allah or the universe don't give big fights for small soldiers. So take that and do it because if you're going and asking and doing, then you do. It's taking massive action. I know it's not easy. And for this situation, like right now, some people take it like opportunity. Some people just take it and say, oh, I am so poor. Again, victimize themselves. And some other people make it happen. Michael Jordan says something. Someone want, someone wish, and someone make it happen. So you have to understand to choose. Are you that person that want to do something? Are you the person that wish to do something? Or are you the maker? Because you cannot be three of them. You just can be one.
Exactly. And it's a choice you have to make. And you want to make things happen, be the doer. Speaking of Michael Jordan, there's an interesting story. When he was playing, they were in the NBA Finals and they were up 3-2, and they were flying to Phoenix, and he didn't want it to go 7 games. So he told his guys, "Listen, I only brought one pair of underwear with me. We're gonna win Game 6. No, we're not going to Game 7." And he told them that. He said, "I only brought one pair of underwear," and guess what? They won Game 6 and they won the NBA championship because he had them believe in themselves that they were going to make this happen. They're going to win that game. So you can definitely do it. Again, it's a choice you make for yourself. And yeah, you got to take massive action. And there's a saying in baseball, I'm sorry, I keep bringing up sports. You can't steal second base with one foot on first. In other words, if you don't get your foot off and try to run to steal it, you're never going to steal it. So if you never take any action, nothing ever changes for you. Some people think um, if you just sit there, money's going to come to you. It's not. You got to do things. Like there's a book called Think and Grow Rich, which is a great book, but you can't simply think it. You also have to take action on it. There's no satisfaction without action. You really need to start taking that massive action. A lot of people don't. And it's really internal motivation, not external. I did a video about this the other day. Some people will go to some event, they'll go to a Les Brown event for a week and say, man, I'm going to make $1 million next year. A week later, their backs to the whole lot. Why? Because everything was external. They didn't change what was inside, their feelings, their motivation. And once you change what's inside, the outside's going to change.
I can add some,
Sure.
Grant Cardone, right?
Oh, he's the 10X rule. He's the master of massive actions.
I used to be part of Cardone.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the university. I love the environment, and I saw many people's going, coming, and going. Like people move to Mallorca and move out from Mallorca. Exactly the same thing. People think I'm going to the seminar, I'm going to the webinar, I read a book, wow, and I get millionaire. No, doesn't work like that. And this is important. You can read a book, you have to write a book. You have to do the news. Don't watch the news. Don't watch the Netflix. Just boom, boom, make it. And and that's Cardone say always he's very direct and he's very bomb. I love that because I am kind of dissimilar. I don't care if someone like me, if not, because I love the whole world. If you like me or not, it's not important. It's important I like myself. I love myself. So, and this is like, come, go. You say you talk about Les Brown. I love that guy too. And there is also an Eric Worre, Jack Canfield. Then is a John Maxwell. Then is Jim Rohn and everyone. Tony Robbins, Brandon Bouchard. We have a lot of these guys. Oprah Winfrey. So what we are talking here about? It's about someone take the responsibility, no matter how his or her past was. Work it out and then start new. This is like reset your phone, reset your laptop, reset your computer, reset your mind, because you need to eliminate that, the programmation from the past, because we are not destinated, we are programmed. So we need to change the programmation to get a new life. And because the kids, when someone is born, every kid, it's nice, it's intelligent, it's lovely, it's, oh my gosh. Put 10 kids in a room with different skin color, different languages, they don't understand each other. After 5 minutes or max 10 minutes, they're best friends. They don't need language, they don't need to have the same skin color, they don't have to have the same religion, because these kids love themselves and they know what is love, and and they are innocent. And beginning with 7 years, 6, 7, they start to change because the adults change them. The parents, oh, don't talk to them, don't talk to them, don't do that, make that, do. It's just like you get manipulated, but first things by your own parents, second thing by the news, television, no? Because the mind is low quality. So necessity is to clean inside, to clean your past, to clean your subconscious, and put a new stuff inside. This is like change your habits. We need 69 days to change bad habits with good habits, and we need 90 days to change this, this way, or whole life, because this is not that way. Let only that thing. So I will say, if someone take value from this, please just share it and do it. Is this from me, from myself? It was to take responsibility, because you need to take responsibility for your own life. You cannot whole time blame. That show the finger to someone and the 3 fingers showing to yourself, right? It's not going someone else. So reading books, watching videos, watching webinars, sitting in front of someone will not change your life. You need to take that and apply it and taking massive action, and it is not like everyone can do. Yes, everyone can do. There is no one who can't. If you say yes and compromise and say, I want, I do, and I put myself in the front there and take and say it, I want to change, I do this, and take someone to help you out, because by yourself, It's not possible. I took also advices. I pay my mentors, I pay my coaches because it's important. So by yourself, you will not achieve that. It's normal. Just you need that. And then someone say, oh, I don't have the money. Okay, let me ask you something. If you don't have money now, do you have it in 3 months or in next 5 months? And how do you want to take care about your family if right now you don't have it? You need to move the ass, move your butt from the sofa, from comfort zone, go out and find a way, because there is a lot of things that we can do. I know it's hard to hear, hard to listen. Just, I was somewhere there, and I know that there is the possibility to change. Just you need to ask yourself, what are you willing to sacrifice to get what you want? That is the question.
Yeah, absolutely. How important is it to you? And like you said, a lot of times when people say they don't have the money, but you ask them, well, if you needed to get $5,000 for money for surgery for your little kid, would you be able to come up with it in the next couple of days? Pretty much every parent would say yes. They'd find a way. It's like, is it important? Are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to come up with creative ways to figure out how can you borrow from someone? Can you put on your credit card? Can you do this or that? There are ways. If something's really important to you, you will find a way. And just a lot of times, for some people, it's not as important as they think. In my opinion, I think some people are in love with the idea of success, but they're not willing to, like you said, make the sacrifices necessary to become successful because they realize it's a lot of work. And you made a great point about kids. When you're growing up, you have no inhibitions. When you're a baby, you want food, you cry for it. You don't care. You want it. You ask a million questions. Why? You're not afraid of rejection. In fact, we're only born with two fears: the fear of loud noises and the fear of falling. Every other fear we learn from life, from and like you said, a lot of it growing up early years we learn from our parents. They tell us don't do this, don't do that, and then as we grow up we get these inhibitions. We're afraid to take certain chances because we've been told don't do that, don't do that, it's not realistic, you're going to hurt yourself. And a lot of times it's meant with good intentions, but sometimes it does us a great disservice because then we're afraid to ask for things. A lot of people are afraid to ask for business. A lot of people are afraid to ask people to join the company or look at their product or whatever. It's because we're fear that people are going to say no, it's going to hurt us. So, and when we're kids, you have a kid, your kid, when growing up, he says, mommy, I want this. But after, when they grow up, they stop. So anyway, you're going to say something.
Yes, I wanted to say something because you talk about fear, and the fear is something that is emotional, that is programmed, that is
Hmm.
planted, influenced in our brain from our parents first thing
Yeah.
in the morning when we open our eyes. So think about this. I will ask everyone who is watching, everyone who is listening, the baby. We get a baby, right? And we carrying, oh, so nicey. And then the baby start to crawl and start to make the first steps to walk. What we are doing? We are encouraging that kid. Come on, you do this, you can do this. And the kid fall down. Boom. And we don't say, oh my gosh, don't try again because you will fall, make yourself, you will hurt yourself. Everyone is coming. Come on, try again. Do it. What if in that moment, when the first time that kid fail, every parent will say, oh my gosh, don't do that because maybe you will break your leg or whatever. We will have a society of discapacitated people. They cannot walk, they cannot talk, they cannot do anything. So the fear is something that can be controlled and fronted. About what are you fearing? I am fearing, for example, I would like to say your fear have to be so small, and because the goal is bigger. That means your mission, your goal, your wish, your hunger to be successful or to have everything for your family have to be much stronger than that damn fear. And get uncomfortable from your comfort zone. Get out and get comfortable in the uncomfortable zone. Because think about kids. Every kid is born with a great potential, and we adults change that because we don't learn better. We get it 20 generation, from our parents,
Mm-hmm.
grandparents. And so it's important. You want to change this world, you need to change yourself first. Victor, a lot of people ask me, Daniela, why do you work with men and women? Because I don't say I want to empower the woman, because we have already so much power, and this time to times too much. I just gave an example. The we have to think about something. The woman is born with power, and we have a lot of power. I want to ask something else. Are you a mother of a son and of a daughter? Then start to raise both the same way, because your son will be the husband, the father, whatever, from someone else. Like you raised him, he will act. And your daughter the same way. It's very important. My friend from Brazil, she's a singer, she lives in LA, and her friend was killed by her ex-partner. And she say, we don't need to empower the woman. We need to ask why the man is doing what he's doing. And this is example. Monkey see, monkey do. What you see in your house, you will make it. You will do the same shit. And someone will do it worse, someone better. Just that start with your own home, not start with someone else. Don't start with politics, don't start with immigration, don't start with black, white, yellow. It start with your own home. So make sure your home have love, because you are born with love. The love is much powerful than anything else. And guess what? Who love himself cannot hate, cannot have that envy, cannot be, oh, I have to be better than other person, because that it's not okay. And the Bible, there is also in Bible, in Quran is the same thing. You need to love the other people like yourself. So let me ask you something. If you're very that, a lot of people are Christian or whatever, do you love yourself? How do you want to say something about something if you're not able to love yourself, to respect yourself, and then to be happy if someone else is successful? Go and ask, hey, what have you done? Show me the way. I want to be in that thing with you. I want to do what you're doing. Give support.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
I hope this makes sense, because a lot of people ask me, oh, how is that to talk? Say, look, my grandmother always say, give without expectation. Don't expect anything. When you love yourself, and she told me like this, when you love yourself, you will be able to love anyone else. And when you love yourself, you will not be jealous, you will not have envy, and you will not be that, competition between whatever. I never compete with anyone. I don't compare myself with no one, because I go every day in the morning in the mirror, and I say, good job, Daniela. You are awesome. You are awesome. You are the best, the most beautiful, the most intelligent for yourself. And guess what? 10 years ago, I was not so strong. 10 years ago, I was crying. 15 years ago, I was broke. And 20 years ago, oh my gosh, do you want what? I was taking my life. I was in suicidal problem. So that is always is a solution, always is a possible to change something.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people can get inspiration from you, because I think a lot of people have probably hard time imagining 10 years ago she didn't believe herself at all. You sound like a very confident person, but you've overcome something. But you know what? You put in the work. You changed the way you did things, how you felt about yourself. Now you feel much better about yourself. You're not jealous of people. And that's the thing. You try to compare yourself to the people, you're going to get disappointed sometimes. If I try to compare myself to Tony Robbins or Jack Canfield, I'm going to lose out. They're different guys. They make a lot more money than me. But like you said before, I need to compare myself. How am I compared to yesterday? How am I compared to last week or last month? If I'm doing better, if I'm making progress, I should be happy. And a lot of people don't feel happy about yourself. Like, yeah, people who are bullies, who have inferiority complexes, who are who are narcissists, they're not people who love themselves. They don't love themselves. That's or people who put other people down. If they felt good about themselves, it would be better. So they will love people more. And like you said, when you love yourself more, you're gonna love people more. You won't be jealous of people. When I see someone's making more money than me now, I see them as someone who can inspire me. I'm like, if this person can come from the bottom and do this, I could do the same thing. And like you mentioned before, mentors, they've helped me out a lot too. They made me see things differently. You can learn from people. And you mentioned the need to forgive yourself and to forgive others. It's very important. They say trying to hold bitterness and resentment, so I try to drink poison and hoping the other person dies. No, when you hold bitterness and resentment, you're only hurting yourself. Forgiveness is for you. People don't understand that. It's not for other people. It frees you to do so many things. And but I think it's amazing. You say you were not like this 10 years ago, and I just see someone who's so much more confident in herself now. I can do so many great things now. And like you said, it's how you raise your kids. It's if you want to change the way the world is, you change your family. Like I said, men who abuse one, they probably learned it at home, probably from their dads. They probably do the same thing. A lot of times kids just imitate what they learn from their parents, what they see them do. So if they see the father treating their mom with respect, treating her kind of the way she deserves to be, he's most likely going to do the same thing. So, and the same thing with the daughters, what they see the family doing. It's everything just tends to replicate itself. So if you can change so much by changing what happens in the home. But even if you go through a tough time though, like you said, with your own life experiences, if you're willing to change things, you've changed your life. So I think some of the people who are listening here are saying, can I make my life better? It's like, they say being poor is a situation, but being poor is a situation, but being broke is a state of mind. So if you can change your state of mind, you can change your situation. So it starts with the mind and then taking the action. And if you, and your example, you were able to do it. Why can't, why not everyone else? There's there've been people who, I think of a guy like Nick Vujicic. The guy was born with no arms and no legs. He's a successful motivational speaker. He's an actor. He's married with 4 kids.
Yes, when an awesome model, an awesome woman, and this is like when this happened that you change everything. It's because you work your past, you overcome the past, you work out the Pandora cage, and that Pandora cage is exactly in our inside, in our subconscious. Is always body, soul, and mind. I never saw someone to start to build a house from the roof. Always start from the bottom. So why someone think I just talk and read books and that works? No, you need to clean your inside first. And also you need to take responsibility. That is very, very important. My grandma always say, the kids reflect their parents, and it is like the dogs reflect their owners. There is no aggressive pit bull with a nicey owner. The aggressive pit bull come with aggressive owner.
Yeah.
So this is the same with the kids, because we want to change the world. We want to make a better society. We don't want to see like 2 days ago, or like this was in US or in other countries, this kind of things. It is important because it's necessity. It's time to put again men and women on the same place, because man and woman cannot exist without each other. And who think that can exist is a bullshit. Sorry for my vocabulary. I want to ask you, can you have kids without to have a man? Can you have a kid without a woman? No. You can have a robot. Yes. But if we are not putting ourselves together, we will disappear, because this is a human. To be a human, why are you a human? Ask yourself, what is your mission on this planet? Why are you here? What is that thing you want to let like legacy? Because is this, I want to make myself better, I want to get millionaire, boom boom boom. Okay, I understand that. How do you want to do that? And I will repeat that question. What are you willing to sacrifice to get what you want? because this COVID situation put everyone in front of the Netflix. Everyone is somewhere waiting to something change. No, you have to make the change. You have to do the change. No Netflix, no cookies, no ice cream, no sitting on the sofa. Book, read, change, start, do, work, because there is everything you need. When I was divorced, 98, I divorced. We don't have social media, we don't have Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. And that time, and the people was doing things. It was much difficult than now. Now is faster. Digital world is faster. So it's up to you if your life will be better. Put down, write down, take a, like me here, write it down, your past, everything, you love it, you don't love it, and then start to change that. Change with what you want. And you have to be really specific and start to forgive. If you have fights with your parents, forgive, talk to them. They gave your life. So the parents, without them, we doesn't exist, right?
Right.
So if I would now start to talk against my ex-husband, I will be hypocrite, because if I'm honest, I go back in the past, I take the same guy because I want the same boy. I want my son. I don't want any other kid. So that it's important to understand, when you will be able to say, I am happy that I had that experience, no matter which one. So you are done with your past. Just you have to be here, done with your heart. Here doesn't work because the brain is influenced by eyes and the heart is with feelings. So when in your heart you have no more hate, no more anger, no more this envy, then you're done with your past. And believe me, if I could, you can.
Yeah, wonderful. Thanks for sharing that. Um, I many years ago I was in the corporate world, and just to made me think of something they used to say on all the statements when they were issuing new securities. Past performance is not indicative of future results. So your past does not determine your future. We know that with equities and bonds, and the same thing applies to you. So if you've had a bad past, it doesn't necessarily mean your future is going to be, it can be a great one, as Daniela is showing from her example. So I thank you for sharing that. Now I'm looking at that 10X thing you had over there. It just reminds me of Grant Cardone's 10X book. And I remember one of his books, he shared a story about he was coming back from a convention in Vegas, and he was leaving a day early. So the guy who was driving to the airport saying, well, why are you leaving a day early? Why don't you just, stay an extra day and enjoy the sights in Las Vegas? And he says, well, if I leave now, I can get home and try to close, maybe, I can get to work and maybe close the biggest deal of my life. And the driver says, that makes sense. That's probably why you are where you are, and I'm here driving you. Because
Exactly.
he's always taking action. So we've got a few more minutes to go. Just any other last things you want to share with people about what they can do with their life? How can they close the Pandora cage, and how they can make their life better and more successful? Any last thoughts you want to share with our audience?
Oh, yes. I could look, first thing I want to say, Pandora cage, your past, it's not you. Because that happened because of your parents, because of the situation, because of your programmation. Go behind, find that child in you that's 5 years old, and then start to grow again, beginning with 5 years, and start to forgive. It's not easy. Believe me, when I forgive my ex-husband, it was like, I could not believe that it was like a big stone is gone, and then I start to be happy. So forgiveness, write it down, use. I am not making up publicity for 10X planner. I just say, take something, write it down. And very important, what do you want to do? What do you want to be? What do you want to see? What do you want to to have? And where do you want to go? Make that clear. Is very important to overcome the past, to work out the Pandora cage. It's not easy. And please don't go to average profession, average trainers, average coaches. Go to pros, because one wrong word can destroy you, because the past, the Pandora cage is something emotional. So better give some a little bit more money for that coach, that psychologist, that therapist, then go to your friend, cannot help you. Believe me, take help. And it's important to understand. Go in front of the mirror and just watch yourself and see, what do you see there inside? And then write down, I am good enough right now. I deserve to be happy and successful. And write it 100 times, 30 days. And then let me know how that changed your way to think, to act, and to take care about yourself. You're awesome. And if you want to change the world, start with yourself, because without being together, loving each other, respecting each other, we destroy this planet. So we are responsible to make it better. If I could, you can. Love you guys and thank you.
Well, thank you for sharing all that and for sharing all your wisdom with us, as well as sharing your life story. I know you're an inspiration to many people that are listening today, Daniela. One final question before I let you go. By the way, if you talk about 20 years ago how everything was different. 20 years ago, you and I would not be friends on Facebook because Facebook didn't exist. There was no social media. And you're in Europe, I'm in America. There is no way we would ever have found each other. So
Exactly.
it's so much easier nowadays to build friendships, relationships, build business. You can talk to people all over the world. So I'm glad we've been friends, I don't know, like 5 years now or something like that. So it's been great knowing you and watching your journey. Last question is, if people want to get in touch with you, what's the best way? Is it through Facebook? Is it through a
Um,
website, email? What's the best way to, get in touch with you?
before I answer that, I would like to go back to that you say, social media, meeting people.
Yeah.
I give here a big thank you to my grandma, because she told me the right people will come right time in your life when
Hmm.
time for that. So when we change our way to think, we get the right people in our life. And this is like, I give you an advice, guys. Go outside and take the 5 people with whom you spend the time, because you are the average result of these people. So get better people than you in your life. Start to connect with better people than you and do the things. And to the question that you say, I am on Facebook and Instagram and I am on LinkedIn. Who want to connect with me, I will answer with pleasure the question. I am, by the way, learning psychologist more than 15 years, and I am a coach. That is not so long time. I do one learn it with Tony Robbins, and right now I am in Cardone since 1 year. I passed already a lot of diplomas of certificates, and my individual personal coach mentor is Jesse Ecker, the son of T. Harv Ecker. So
Oh,
I
wow.
have a strong guys. You know,
Yeah.
Cardone, the T. Harv Ecker, and this is like perfect.
Yeah, I always loved this. When I became an entrepreneur, so like starting 7 years ago, one of the earliest books I ever read was T. Harv Ecker's Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. It is an awesome
Ah,
read. And if you haven't read it, for those people who are watching, get that book. It is an awesome book.
read it, eat it for the breakfast, for the lunch, for the night. So you will change your way to think about the money, about the richness. And Grant Cardone is the guy who teach you about the money. Because if you're angry with the money, you will never get it. Love the money, love the rich people, be happy with them, and then you will get happy and will be get successful and will get the money.
No, absolutely. How you feel about it, because you will not attract what you hate. If you hate it, you're never gonna get it. But if you're okay with it, if you love it, you're happy with it, you will get it. If you think it's only for greedy, sleazy people and you want to be a good moral person, you'll always be broke. Yeah. So you got to change how you feel about it, because people
Yes.
misunderstand. Some people hear that money is the root of all evil. It's not. It's the making it an idol. It's the love of it, the extreme idolization of it that gets you into trouble. But in itself, it's actually neutral. But you could do a lot of great things. You can't build schools or hospitals or any great thing without money. You need it.
I will give you something else.
Sure.
Go to the bank with some bills and go there and say, "Oh, I am in love with you, and you know the God sent me. Can you pay my bills?" You don't get that done.
No, it's not
The
gonna happen.
money is awesome. I love the money. The money love us, and that it's important because we need to get right on that mindset. That what you say, the money is evil. We get that from our parents
Yeah.
because they get it from their parents, and that
Mhm.
was like the rich people are not good, the poor people are good. It's not true because I have a lot of millionaires like friends, and
Mhm.
also people that I love a lot, and they are rich, and much more rich people, they are nice and good than poor people, because poor, I will let this with, rich people will get more than they have, and every day more and more, and the poor people, they will lost also what they have. And this is in Bible. You don't believe me? Go and read the Bible and find it, because I grow up with that. My
Mhm.
grandma put me to read that a lot of times. So why they do this? Because the rich people, they sacrifice, they do things, they don't wait that someone else come. And the poor people, they start to blame, complain. And I have something for you. Um, a poor person, was in the middle of the ocean. The boat broke, and he said, "Please, God, help me out. I don't want to die. I am too young to die. And the God sent him a boat with other people. There was like a great boat. No, come on the boat. No, no, no. I am waiting for the God because he will help me out. Okay, the boat gone. Then he said, "Please, God, I never ask you for something. Help me out." The next boat is coming, much bigger, much better. And he say no. And the boat is gone. And he die, and then come in front of the God there. And he say, "God, why you don't help it me out?" And he say, "I cannot take you out from the ocean. I send you two opportunities. You don't took it. So you decided to wait and to die. So it is like important. Move, do things. Don't expect that something just come from the sky. To come something from the sky is only snow, water, so rain. You need to move. And it's important. My grandma always say, if you believe with the heart and if you pray, then be do the, no, sorry, I will change it. I will do it right. So do what you preach. Don't preach what you don't do.
Yep, don't be a hypocrite. Now, the story you just told me about the guy on the boat just reminded me of another story. This guy was praying for 20 years to win the lottery. And week in and week out, he would play it. He never won. So then he says, "Why won't you let me win? I've been praying for 20 years. I've been good." And then he hears a voice from the sky saying, "You have to buy a lottery ticket first."
Exactly. Exactly. This is like, oh my gosh, so poor me, victimize, pity party. Pity party doesn't pay the bill. Stop to make that and go out and do the things. And let me know if it helped you here. If you want to get some question answers, no problem. I will put under the video the content, the details from me, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, no problem for that.
Please do. Yeah.
So I think I want to say thank you for letting me to share your time with your community, and I am happy because I want to say thank you because you was in my community. You are a
Yeah.
great person. You are awesome, and good people meet good people, and bad people meet bad people. Is
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
no, it's been great being friends with you these last several years, and I thank you for all the wisdom you shared with us. And I think the people watching from my computer, they're gonna get a lot of inspiration and realize they can do so much more in their life. And anyone can do it if they're willing to take the chance, take the risk, do
Yes.
the action. If they're willing to get out of the comfort zone and change things, they can do it just like you can. You're a totally different woman from what you were 10 years ago. You're a lot more confident in yourself, and you have this desire. Just hearing your voice, it's just so obvious. You really want to encourage people to do what you want to help people out, and you believe in yourself, and you believe in other people. And I think like people who come to you will realize when they talk to you, they can they can, after interacting with you for a while, they realize they can change their life too. So I thank you for joining us today. And yeah, definitely put your information under the comments below as to how they can reach you on Facebook, Instagram, whatever. And thank you so much, my friend. And have yourself an amazing and blessed weekend.
Victor, thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, we are humans. We need to change the society. We need to change ourselves first. So thank you for your time. Thank you for everything. And greetings from Spain to New York.
Greetings from New York to Spain. Take care and God bless, my friend.
Mwah.
All
Bye.
right. Bye bye.